yes, we must have all of the coffee. You know, I have seen a lot of strange and wacky things over the last couple of years, and oftentimes I feel like I'm living in a cruel simulation. The spectacles of idiocy is at times rather jarring. Now, in case this isn't obvious for you all just yet, there is no such thing as left versus right, conservative versus liberal, etc., etc. These are slogans, brands really. So when I say leftism, I don't mean that so much in terms of ideology, more so in terms of a faction. And so we have this crazy bollocks over here from Andy No, a person, this is debatable, waving the BLM Skittle Squad progress flag at the Palestine rally in central London, gets it torn down and stolen today. Pray tell, why do you think that is? See, here is the situation. Several years ago, I think it was in 2017, I could be wrong, Joe Rogan had on Brett Weinstein and Jordan Peterson, before he went full Team Z and lost his mind. But Brett said, what you have on the left is a new twist. It's a coalition of essentially misfits who individually are not particularly impressive, but together they can be quite formidable. Here is the thing though, the formidable quality is contingent on a couple of factors, the main one being a greater enemy they think will galvanize them all together. So keep in mind two things. On their narrative level, that enemy, so-called, is anything that isn't a straight white male. So to them, anything that isn't that can somehow form a cohesive bond. Now, it doesn't take a genius to recognize that's insane. It does, however, take legions of idiots to try and follow it through. Unfortunately, we have that stock in ample supply. On a local level, meaning roughly within the Western political sphere, their worldview barely makes any sense. When viewed from outside of their narrative level in the real world, a la apolitically, as Curtis Yarvin said, their real enemy is reality. These cretins can only see politics from within their own realm, and thus the further you move outside of the Western political sphere and encompass more of the real world, the more of reality they will get exposed to, and so more daunting the opposition looks. And all of this makes them look increasingly delusional and cult-like in their behavior. See, this is why if you want to know what's really going on, don't study politics, study power. Because if you study politics, you're going to fall into the same vein as these people, trapped in this narrow-minded cult-like chasm, which in reality is a vision stuck in time. What you need to make sense of this phenomenon is outside of this bubble. If I ever do a video about why I became a monarchist, that realization, that was my first sort of gateway curiosity. Objectively speaking, this situation is a disastrous dumpster fire, and that's being polite about it. We have more access to information outside of our sphere than any humans ever before, and yet we're seeing these large herds of sheep-like morons holding impossible positions that if professed in these countries they advocate for, they wouldn't be coming back. So many jokes I want to make and they're all horribly inappropriate. Like, look at this. Reproductive justice means free Palestine. What the hell are we even looking at over here? I actually wish this was AI. Look at this scene. The demographic, pale as snow, coof masks, lesbians for liberation with the Palestine flag. You know these people are the most attention-starved creatures who've ever lived, who are just there to gel their demented politics onto the current date of virtue signal. That's it. These people must have the most boring lives ever to do something so stupefying, it actually makes me question their sanity. It is depressingly disappointing to observe such jarring examples of astounding ignorance. Now, putting aside for a moment the realization that such levels of idiocy is a genuine threat to the social fabric of, frankly, any civilization, you have to laugh at such delightful bouts of sheer stupidity. If we don't, we'd all end up crying tears of sadness or rage, enough to flood the world like the reincarnation at the time of Noah's Ark. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.